I'm going to tell you the truth as to why you are probably not rich on GTA Online. I'm going to get straight to the point. So I'm going to start with number one. The people you watch on social media could be using clickbait or they could be straight up lying. So that's part of the reason why you're probably not rich. Number two, the people that you watch have better weapons and vehicles so they can do things quicker, more powerful. They're probably a higher level. Their character's body is stronger and all that other good stuff. Number three, if you are starting at a low level, the person that you're watching probably has more experience. Correction. Even if they're starting at a low level, they probably have more experience. So even though they're starting at a low level, they probably have months and months or years even of experience. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get up. I try to get up to keep changing her pose. Well, anyways, continuing on. They're probably older than you. They're probably older than you and have more patience than you. That's self-explanatory. Five, the jobs and the missions that pay the most can be or feel too long. You don't want to, spend all day on setup missions and a finale. Six, this is something that you probably do not want to hear. You don't want to do the work. You don't want to do the work. It kind of coincides with number five. The missions can feel too long. You don't want to really do this over and over again to make the money. I don't know what to tell you. That's just how GTA is set up for the most part. There are other ways you can make money, but you have to be patient. I made money with a nightclub and a bike shop. I made about $1 million one day, but it did take a long time, but I made it. So there are other workarounds if you're patient enough, but it's still gonna take you a long time. But the reason why I like to do things like that in the beginning, because I still was a free roamer. I still played in the lobby, so I can just do something with my nightclub real quick, modify a bike real quick, and get back out in the lobby and then do it again on the next hour. Number seven, you're probably making money in ways that you don't really like. There's some people that may like to do the cluck and bail. There's some people that may like to do the agency contract, the diamond casino heist, and different things. I don't hear much about the doomsday heist, and of course the KO Perico. I've taught people how to do the KO Perico. I've taught people how to do the agency. Somebody taught me how to do the agency heist and was adamant that this was the best money making way. And I'm not denying that it is a good way to make money. You can make $1 million, whereas the casino heist has experienced multiple nerfs and is every reason in the world not to really want to do the KO Perico. Did I say casino? I meant to say the KO Perico heist. And I'm mainly talking about things that people can do solo. So I'm not really including like the casino heist because this is more for people that play solo. And so on paper, yes, I feel like the agency is better. I think the building just alone is probably the best building to own in the business. And I might explain that. I could probably explain why later on. And in theory, it seemed like a good idea. I had a character that I bought the agency over the Kasaka, and I barely even did the contract, to be honest. So I was pretty much stuck doing nothing, really. So, and why? Because I can do I can't say I enjoy the KO Perico more. I did in the past, but I could just do it quicker. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I can do the Cayo Perico heist quicker, and there's people that I'm sure can do it quicker than me, and there's people that claim they can do the agency VIP contract in about an hour. I talk to people. These are people that I talk to personally, and every time I ask them, well, show me. Well, then they'll admit that, they're taking shortcuts, glitches, and different types of things like that. And then one guy admitted that actually when he redid it, it took him like a little bit over 2 hours. So it's like some people will, again, just straight up, either they have a shortcut on how they're doing these things, or they aren't keeping track of the time of how long it really takes. But that could be somebody's favorite way of making money. And, it might not be yours. You might like the Cayo Perico heist better. Then there's some people that don't like the Cayo Perico heist. They don't like being separated from, the main map. They still like to even do setup missions and free roam. A benefit of that is, of course, you can hire people. You can invite them to your setup sometimes. Whereas the Cayo Perico, you got to send out an associate link and they have to join your organization. And if people don't know you, they probably won't do that. I've joined people's associate links only to find out that they were doing VIP missions that pay out $20K. So sometimes, if they don't invite you to their actual place of business, you don't know what you're getting into. And so, yeah, I'm going to recap real quick just in case I do not edit this video. And that's a big possibility. But, okay, we're going to go over it again. Number one, the people that you watch could be clickbaiting you or straight up lying. And again, I hate to say it, I understand. I'm not going to say I approve of it, but I understand, because if you say, hey, you can make $1 million in 3 days, over, hey, you can make $1 million in 20 minutes, people are going to click on making $1 million in 20 minutes. So that's y'all fault. I'm sorry. That's y'all fault. That's what y'all click on. And y'all are more personality based, which again, nothing wrong with that. It's people that I watch that I enjoy their content, but yeah, I can peep out, okay, this is not realistic for the typical average person, but I still actually enjoy their personality and content. But when it came to me really needing to know how to make this money, it was difficult. And some of the same people that might use clickbait, some of the same people that may use clickbait, some of their videos I have learned a thing or two. So it can be like a mixed bag with some people that you watch. But anyways, that's number one about people using clickbait and lying. Number two, people, like I said, probably have better weapons, better vehicles to do the setups and the finales with, or whatever they're doing, sales mission, I don't know. Number three, even if they start at a low level, they still have more than likely months or even years of experience, so they can still do it a little bit more gracefully. And not to mention, I forgot to mention this, some may even do it with friends to make the whole thing a little bit more easier. Four, they're probably older than you. The people that you're watching is probably older than you, so they have probably more patience with you. I've worked with younger people like 13, 15, and I don't know all the ages, but they sound like they're probably around that age. Some admitted that they were around that age, and I noticed they don't really, a lot of them don't have the patience, and sometimes even slightly older people, they don't have the patience. And what I mean by that is like 17, 20, But anyways, moving on. 5, the jobs or missions that pay you the most. Yes, a lot of times it's probably going to take more time. And so, yeah, and a lot of people, they want to do shortcuts. And again, I understand. Trust me. I was excited to learn missions in the beginning. You play them a couple of times. And let's face it, sometimes you just want to get straight to the finale. Some people have, glitches, and we all know that is one, that you I was about to say YouTube that Rockstar hasn't patched, and I think it's because people don't really play that mission that much. So I think they're just happy that somebody is actually doing the mission. 6, you don't want to do the work. Again, like I said, these missions are long, and yeah. So one kid, I was trying to teach him how, oh, it just got dark. Yeah, one kid, I was trying to teach him how to do a mission with a finale, and he totally did not want to do it. I didn't know that he didn't want to do it, but he was just blowing a lot of my things up and blowing up my, helicopters, and I didn't know what was going on. And then it finally clicked when I asked him, do you actually have this business? And he said, yes. Every time I asked him, do you have a certain business? He would say yes. So he had like a nice little handful of businesses, but he never would want to work them. I asked him about his nightclub. Yeah, I have a nightclub, but I really don't keep up with it. Do you have a CEO office? Yeah, I have a CEO office, but somebody, blew up my, whatever, my cargo or my flatbed. And so I was noticing he actually had all the tools to make money, but he wanted to leech off of other people and have them either do it for him, and he'd swoop in at the end for the finale. And it's usually kids, and then they're the main ones that will ask you for like a 50% cut, not wanting to do any of the work. And he was even bodacious enough to say, hey, I got to go eat. And he said, well, do you mind like doing the setups while I'm gone? Like, he wanted me to be his worker bee. So most people aren't going to be that bodacious, but he was. And it was another guy asking people in the lobby in general how to make money, or can they help them? I did it. I didn't, I did it. And I started off with a finale of the Cluck and Bell, and we were going to do a heist next. It was a finale. And because I think he didn't say it, but I told him I was going to give him maybe 20% cut. Mind you, I had like enough, like in the finale, to where even with a 20% cut, he probably would have made probably like $400K, $500K. But I think he just heard 20% cut and just automatically assumed that he probably was going to make maybe $100K or something like that. I really don't know, but he somehow found an excuse to not really do it. And I didn't care because I had somebody else that I was doing it with anyway. So, and I could have did it by myself and got the whole cut for myself. But at that point with that character, I really didn't need the money. Yeah. So number 7, you might be just doing the wrong grind. You might be doing, the agency contract when you really should be doing the Cluck and Bell. Maybe you can run the Cluck and Bell once a day, or or you can probably do it twice a day and get you a cool million. You could be doing the Cluck and Bell when you should be doing the KO Perico, if you can learn it well. Unfortunately, it is better for somebody to be able to teach you while you're on the game. There are things that I had to teach myself, but when you're watching a video and trying to learn and play the game, it's a little bit awkward. But my thing, because I am, a little bit older than the people that I play with, people that I was playing with, if they were a lot younger than me, they wouldn't really teach me. They'll just forge ahead of me. They wouldn't tell me nothing. And it wasn't really until I taught myself that I was able to learn things. And also, when another person that was actually older than me, he would teach me as he went along. He would be very specific in what he was doing. He was telling me to look at what he was doing, and I was able to learn things that way. So yeah, it is important to have a good teacher, but there are videos that you can there are videos that you can watch that are pretty accurate, and they're not clickbaiting, and you just got to be able to follow along. So yeah, it's up to you. it's up to you. It's not always somebody else's fault, but sometimes, again, you have to be willing to do the work. Now, if you can get away with joining people's finales, and if you can make your living on GTA Online by just, hatching to the end of everybody's finales, and if that works for you, I say good luck. I even tried that method. I didn't have the patience for that. I kept getting kicked, or it would be some type of, I would get booted. And mind you, with a particular character that I have, she's not a low level. And so, but I will always get kicked. And I just got tired of it. I just didn't want to keep joining 10, 20 sessions to get in. And I wasn't willing to wait that long. But some people do. So, but there's more than one way to make money. You don't always have to do setups and finales. But again, it's also about patience. Like I said, I made $1 million off of, just running a couple of businesses. And I actually even made around $1 million, or maybe $1 million off of doing pizza delivery with my other secondary character. So there's more than one way to make $1 million. But like I said, you have to have the patience. And so I'm going to wrap it up. And I hope that you got something from it. And if you did, please hit the like button, hit the like button. Let me know if you are interested in these videos, because I don't, I can be doing something else. I could do this privately. I can, play with other people on my other console. Like, I'm trying to, be of help. I'm not trying to just put anything out there. I don't think I have much I don't have much gameplay. I usually try to do something that's making money when I am recording. Every now and then I will do gameplay, but as of now, none of y'all know me, so y'all probably don't want to watch somebody just do regular gameplay, and I understand that. But if these videos are helping you a little bit, show some support, please. And if not, I will probably just do something else on this channel, or, But anyways, comment and like, and let me know your thoughts. Am I telling the truth in your eyes, or is there anything that I miss or that I'm misunderstanding? But anyways, I'm having you see, I'm struggling to close this out. All right. Goodbye. Talk to you later. See you when I see you.